did whenever I'm too much in my head and it being a part of your collection. Now it's part to another video. If you're new here, my name is Palma. My artist name is Palma the Peach, and I make content as part of my work as a full-time artist. And for today, we have a little bit of a new series. I call it the Inspiration Diaries. I've noticed this pattern in YouTube comments and just stuff that comes up for us artists, and inspiration is a big, sometimes scary subject. And I like to think of inspiration as almost like a living thing that you have to nurture. It's a part of yourself that you have to feed, because every time that you create work, you are essentially giving a part of yourself away, no matter how small or how big. So you got to fill up that reserve again with some inspiration. So I'm starting this video series to show you guys how essentially I find inspiration. And for today, as you can tell, I'm going to show you guys my little zine collection. I don't have a massive zine collection, but I've been collecting for a few years, and physical media especially, it's just something that gets me the most inspired. Like, yes, I get inspired by stuff that I see on the internet, on screens, but there's nothing like holding something tangible and being able to flip through it as many times as you want and it being a part of your collection. It always inspires me a million times more than scrolling through Pinterest. If you don't know what zines are basically just, you can think of them as kind of like magazines, but take out the consumerism. Magazines are made to essentially sell things to you, and zines are not. Zines can be about anything, and the main aspect is that they are usually DIY or made in small quantities, and like I said, they could literally be anything. They could be all words, they could be all pictures, they can make sense, they cannot make sense. Now, as I'm showing you guys my collection, you're gonna see a lot of different sizes, which I think is the other great thing about zines. You can make them literally using one piece of paper, or you can make them as big and as intricate as you would like. Because I am an artist and I do a lot of illustrations, some of my favorites are illustration based. I especially love the two that I have that are sort of like sketch zines, and they're zines essentially just comprised of a bunch of sketches from an artist or a group of artists. Another cool thing about zines is a lot of times they will be reso printed, and by reso printing I actually mean digital duplicating. If you don't know what that is, essentially think of screen printing and regular inkjet printing, and imagine they had a baby. That's what reso printing is, and you get some like really nice grainy and also like super saturated colors on your paper. It's really lovely, and it makes for a great way to like print out your zines. I also have a couple from some more, I guess, formal publishing groups, where a lot of times a group of writers or artists will come together to create multiple issues of a zine, kind of similar to a magazine, but again, they're not trying to sell you anything. There's not ads that are paying for the publishing in and of itself. I think I also just find zines really inspiring because whenever you're buying them, I kind of see it as a way that like you are validating the creator of the zines, sort of, whether it be like experience or thing that they are making their zine about. For example, I have a Crocs zine that is literally just about my Crocs and how many gibbets I have on them. My Crocs are very personal to me, and I decided to sort of do this ranking system where I categorize my Croc gibbets, and it's very silly, but it's very personal to me, and people have bought it, and in a way, it's kind of like they're taking this very personal aspect of myself, or like my personality or my life, and they're taking it with them, and now it's part of their life and their world in whichever way that may be. For me, whenever I buy zines, they go on these little shelves, and I get to just flip through them whenever I want. I have access to the author's or the creator's work whenever I want, and it feels really special. It's like a form of connection, it's like a form of communication, and it's accessible because not in the way that magazines or books have to go through a lot of funding and a lot of approval and stuff like that, which of course they have their place. I am not dogging on the publishing world, but in the sense of zines, it's so DIY and it's so accessible, like I said, that anybody could make a zine about anything, and I think some really beautiful things can come from that. So enjoy while I show you guys my collection, and I hope you all find something that like moves a little inspiration, a little artistic motivation within you, because there's definitely some in here that I really love that can always get me like grounded whenever I'm too much in my head, I feel too much pressure on like making something really good, or I'm just finding it difficult to create, maybe a little bit of a light art block. Sometimes flipping through these guys again helps me get grounded, and it helps me realize that we all have literally free will and we can make whatever we want, and sometimes it doesn't have to be that serious, you know? So I hope that this can like move something within you, and I will see you guys at the end of the video, because if I talk about all of these zines for the whole time, this video is going to be a million minutes long. And that is my zine collection, you guys. I hope you enjoyed. Like I said, I hope you found something that was motivating or inspiring for you. That is the purpose of this series. I want to help you enrich yourself artistically, even if for a few moments, like with this video. If you are specifically curious about anything in terms of my creating process or inspiration, any sort of thing that has to do with that step of the artistic journey, let me know. You can comment it down below. I have lots of videos planned for this series that I'm very excited about. But before we close out today's video, I wanted to talk about our sponsor, which is of course Squarespace. If you do not know who Squarespace is, they're actually a very long time supporter of this channel, and they're an all-in-one platform where you can create your very own website. I have always used Squarespace to run my website, my online art business, and my art portfolio. They have some really cool tools to help me out with that. Like their commerce tool is fully equipped to help you out with anything you need to run an online store. It keeps track of your orders, your customer data, your inventory, all of that not so fun stuff. So if you are interested in Squarespace, you can go to squarespace.com for a free trial, and you can use my code for 10% off your first purchase. And I will see you guys in the next one.